Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? I just want to try to make a quick video about being happy. Um, Before I start, I want to share my room with y'all, though. This is my meditation room. I love this room so much. I love this room. Right there on the door is a quote about attitude. I'm about to fill that whole door up, though. And then there's my focus board there, and like the centerpiece of my room, if you can see it. I have a bunch of plants in there. I have a bunch of plants. My book is right there, and my water fountain. I love this room. I spend a lot of time in here. But being happy. Let's talk about it. I'm I'm gonna try to make this quick. I get long-winded because I don't know. It's just hard to say everything you want to say, and put it in like bite-sized chunks, you know. But this is my third time trying to do this, and like my videos have been over 20 minutes long, and that's me keeping it short. So I'm gonna try to keep this one. I'm like a minute and a half now. I'm gonna try to keep this in like 5 minutes. So let's see how that goes. But being happy. Okay, look. Being happy, it all comes down to what you choose to focus on at any given moment. That's it. That's all there is to it. It has nothing to do with what you have. It has nothing to do with materialistic things. Now, those things can help. They can help you be happy. And they can help you be happier. But at the same time, you can have everything in the world materialistically and still be miserable, right? Like it happens all the time with, you have celebrities killing themselves and, people that are living pretty well, materialistically speaking, killing themselves and on drugs and, all types of things. So those things, they can add to your happiness, but they won't make you happy. Being happy is just a matter of how you think. It has everything to do with what you choose to think about, focus on, and give your mental energy to. That's it. Nothing else. Um, for example, well, let me say this before I get into this example. I don't believe in bad. I don't believe in anything bad. And I'm talking about my life personally. Um, yes, I've been through a lot of very, very painful things. I've had especially, in my 20s, I've had a very difficult life. I've been homeless and all kinds of things. I've been hungry. I've lived in drug houses, like on and on and on I could go. But the reason I don't believe in bad is because I look at me today, me right now, right? And I'm so happy right now being a business owner and an author and a life coach and a master life coach. And, looking at starting more businesses, on and on and on, being a single parent of 3 and doing it successfully, on and on and on I could go. Would I be here where I am experiencing the success that I'm experiencing without going through those things in my past? I don't believe I would be,
because everything that I've been through has made me the person I am today. In some way, it all contributed. It's just like I say this in my book to my kids. Everything I've learned in 46 years. It's just like if you say, like, you set out to make a cake, right? Now, when you're combining all the ingredients, like, what are some of the ingredients to make up that cake? You got eggs, raw eggs, right? Um, would you eat raw eggs? Probably not. And if you did, you probably wouldn't enjoy it. Just crack an egg open in your mouth and just, eat them back to back. You probably wouldn't do that. Probably why? Because it's nasty, right? So, what about like just the cake mix, the flour, right? Would you take, a spoonful of flour and just pour the flour in a bowl and then take a spoon and just eat the flour like it's a bowl of cereal? You probably wouldn't do that, right? For the same reason, it's nasty. Most cakes, the recipe calls for vegetable oil, right? Would you just take a bottle of vegetable oil and just turn it up and just drink it? Probably not. Why? Because it's disgusting, right? But all of these nasty ingredients, once you mix them all together and you put it in the oven and let it bake, and then you pull that thing out, you have a delicious cake. All of those nasty ingredients combined, they make a delicious cake, right? So that's how I see my life. So is that cake bad because it got a bunch of nasty ingredients in it? No, you murder that cake. You don't even need to put no icing on it, right? Because it's that good. So that's kind of how I see my life. Yeah, in my past, because of my ignorance, I went through a lot of painful things, a lot of things that were not delicious, like a lot of nasty stuff, painful, really difficult times. But I mean, today I have an amazing life. Like, I love my life so much. Like, I love everything about it. And so, um, yeah. So that's why I don't believe in anything bad. Everything is good, even if it's painful. You know, even if it's painful, even if it's difficult, if it's challenging, whatever. It doesn't make it bad. It just makes it painful or difficult or challenging. And it has more to do with your mentality than anything, just as your happiness does. Okay, I wanted to say that because that's how I feel, that's how I think. That's how I think. But most people don't think like that. Like, I've never heard anybody say ever that they don't believe in bad. So for those that believe in good and bad, let me just say that at any given moment in your life, there will be things in your life that you consider bad, and there will be things in your life that you consider good. Surprisingly to me, people often have a hard time identifying the good things in their lives. Like, I've talked to people, and it was really is shocking to me. But I've talked to people that they'll tell me about their problems and all the bad that they're going through and experiencing, and they'll say things like everything that can go wrong is going wrong, and everything's horrible, and yada yada yada. And I ask, like, so what about the good? What's good in your life? And like, people have answered that question and answered with nothing. There's nothing good. I can't think of anything, right? So how can a person like that be happy? Like, how can you be happy if you feel like there's nothing good in your life, right? It's impossible. So being happy, you know, it all comes down to how you think, what you think about, what you choose to think about. Because although it may be hard at times to identify the good in your life, there's always good in your life. And, I mean, for real, I could argue with you that everything in your life is good. It's like when I was going through, those really difficult times, in my past. And, let me just say it hasn't stopped. Like, just my way of thinking about things is different. And, I'm at a place now to where I pretty much ignore anything in my life that I don't like, you know. So, and I focus on nothing but good things, and you know things that I want to see in my life. That's what I give my energy and my attention to. Those are the types of things I focus on. And so if something, appears in my life that if I feel like I don't want no more of that in my life, I don't think about it. That becomes the goal, to totally ignore that, and yeah, hey, what's wrong with that? We do that same thing, but we do it in reverse. We do it in a way that hurts us instead of helps us. And what I mean by that is, a situation can arise in our lives, right? Like, check, like, we could feel like life is great, right? Life is great. And then something will happen. Something undesirable will happen in our lives. And just like that, life can go from being great to being horrible. And we could go from being happy to being miserable. Like, just like that. Because of, a situation that happened, we can forget all about all the good in our lives. We can ignore all the beauty in our lives and become consumed with and totally focused on that thing that happened in our life that we consider bad. And, this is kind of like the default. This is how most people operate, you know. But you have a choice. You can flip that. If something happens in your life that, it's not really desirable, you don't think too highly of it, you don't want that in your life, ignore it. Like, I mean, like, you can ignore that. You don't have to give that situation your time. You don't have to give it your energy. You don't have to give it your attention. You don't have to focus on it. There's still a lot of good in your life. And you could choose. You can make the choice. You can choose to keep your energy and your attention and your focus on those things that you consider good about your life, and ignore everything else. And you can do that. And that's like, look, I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not easy, uh, but it's definitely doable. And you know I've been living like that for some time now, and it that alone improves the quality of your life. Like you wouldn't even imagine, you know. And so I said I was gonna try to keep this video to 5 minutes. I'm at 15. Okay, so I'm about to wrap up. But happiness, it all comes down to what you think about, and you have a choice in what you think about. You don't have to think about quote unquote bad things. You don't have to think about that at all. Right? You don't have to. You have a choice. Or you don't have to let those bad things dominate your mind. Right? There's a progression to this, you know. But hey, if you have, say, like a bad thought, flip it. Think about 10 good things. For every one, bad thought you have, think about 10 good things. Name 10 things in your life that you love about your life. 20, 30, 40, 50. Like the good in your life always greatly outweighs the bad. Always. In the worst moments of my life, I have found that to still be true. Now, it could be hard to identify the good. It depends on where you are mentally. Of course, there's been times in my life where I couldn't identify any good in my life. So, perspective has everything to do with it, and perception, how you view things. But, that's the truth. The bad in your life never outweighs the good, and the good in your life always greatly outweighs the bad. Always. So, at that point, first you understand that, and then it's just a matter of, just kind of like examining your life and looking for the good and pointing it out. Like that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's bad, but that's good, 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 on and on and on. And then, you focus on those things. And you express gratitude for those things. And you let those things dominate your thoughts. And your happiness is going to soar through the roof, because what's going to happen is you're going to realize how great of a life you really have. Even with this thing that's going on in your life that's, not so great, that sucks, like however you feel about it, boom, you think about that, and yeah, this sucks and I hate it and blah 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 blah, right? But then flip it. Now let's talk about everything that's good in your life, and meditate on it. Just like really think about it, and think about what if you didn't have, your health. Health is something you could just spend all day on. You could probably spend weeks just talking about your health. Like, if you can see, right? That's a huge blessing. Like, everybody can't see. You're not entitled to that. It's a lot of people that can't see. Like, what would your life be like if you couldn't see? Right? So, like, if you can see, what would your life be like if you couldn't see? And you think about that. You can, if let's say you can walk. A lot of people can't walk. Or they're paralyzed in a wheelchair, like whatever the case is. It don't even have to be that extreme. Like some people don't even have legs. It don't have to be that extreme. You could just have really bad arthritis or something like that, and it could just be painful for you to walk. Right? So painful that you choose to not even try. Right? But can you walk? You know how huge that is? Like, that is huge. It's easy to take for granted because if you never had any problems with walking, any issues or anything like that, it could be easy to take things that we're so familiar with and comfortable being able to do, right? It's easy to take those things for granted, but what would happen if you couldn't? You know, there's people that are in car accidents, right? And accidents are what? They're accidents, meaning they weren't planned by anybody, right? It can happen to whoever, right? Nobody plans to get in an accident. I remember some years ago, I was taking my son to school, my oldest son to school, and this girl just blew through the stop sign. It was one of those intersections where the way I was going, there was no stop sign, but the way she was going, there was a stop sign. She blew through it, ran into us, totaled my vehicle. But neither one of us was hurt. So that was the blessing. So, boom, what do? Do you focus on being in an accident? Do you focus on your vehicle being totaled? Or do you focus on, I'm okay, my son is okay, nobody died, nobody got hurt? And to be honest, I wasn't caring really about them and that vehicle. It really didn't. It didn't. I don't know. It didn't matter to me. If they were, like, I could see that they weren't because the girl got right out the car, but that didn't matter to me though. What mattered to me was first my son being okay. So boom, that happened. I look at him, he good. I check me out, I'm good. Like, that's everything. Car don't matter. Him not being able to go to school. Now, none of that other stuff matters. But it could have mattered, right? And for a lot of people, it would have mattered. Could have been pissed off about my vehicle being totaled. Like, I really did like that vehicle too. Like, I still think about it. That happened some years ago. I still think about it like, man, I want that back. But I'm just saying though, it's all about what you choose to focus on. Like, I came out of that just extremely thankful and grateful that we came out of that okay. Like, there were no issues in regards to us physically. So being happy, look, it all comes down to what you choose to think about and focus on. You can literally be miserable right now and flip it and become super happy just by changing what you're thinking about. Just by changing what you allow yourself to focus on. It's just that simple. It's really just that simple. It's not easy. It takes practice. And for me, like for somebody like me, I used to be so pessimistic and so negative. I used to be that guy that couldn't identify anything good in his life. like my entire life sucked. That's how I used to feel. And as a result, most of my younger years, I didn't want to live. I didn't want to be here. You know, I used to just think about suicide, like literally almost every single day. But it's just that was a product of my thoughts, of how I was thinking at the time. And I could have shifted it. If I would have knew what I'm sharing in this video now, I could have shifted it. But I didn't know. All I knew was how to focus on everything in my life that I considered bad at the time. Everything that I considered negative. I never said thank you for anything. And I had the greatest blessing I could have, which was my health. I was in excellent health. So that's all. I'm about to close this out. But yeah, happiness, it comes down to how you think and what you choose to think about. So this is Kev, your life coach, about to sign out. If you can leave me some comments, DM me, whatever. If I can help you out in any kind of way, I'd be happy to do so. I'm gonna be working with a certain select group of individuals one-on-one for a very limited time, free of charge. We'll be giving out free coaching sessions. Again, it's a very limited time offer to a very select few group of people. So if you'd like to learn more and maybe see if you qualify for that, just leave me a comment, DM me, hit me up. Alright, y'all, this is Kev, the life coach, and I'm out.